Radio Rahim with Kalle Sauerland. Here we are once again, a huge stage, Wembley. All of this is familiar grounds to you, but the difference this time out is KSI is the only undefeated crossover boxer, and Jake Paul has fallen to Tommy Fury.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of parallels, aren't there? As fight weeks approached, the more I think about it, and the more I'm thinking about questions you're going to get asked in fight week, and Tommy and Jake had that 3 year sort of build up of cancelled fights and whatever, and this one's just sort of been contracted and got done, or going to get done Saturday night live on DAZN. What I would say is it's a very similar challenge. So they've both got credible 8-0, 9-0 pros. Joe Fournier comes also with being a former WBA international champion. I know the hardcore, stop. I'll see the comments below. I'll have a look at them. I'm sure I'll have a good laugh. I get what you're saying. But at the end of the day, padded records, not padded records, show me a real pro, apart from Vasyl Lomachenko or someone who at 8-0, 9-0 is not padded. Of course, you've got padded records. This is what pro does in the first 10 fights. You don't go fight King Kong or Muhammad Ali, but they're credible pros. This was the same with Tommy. We saw what happened with Jake. We're going to try and write history on Saturday night from Wembley Arena, and that's the challenge ahead. That's all we got in our heads this week. That's all what this week's about. And that's what it is, really, yeah.
I mean, to credit KSI, he has said the same as you, that, Fournier is a live opponent and clearly has had some experience in the boxing ranks, which is more than any of his other opponents have had. But his eyes are already set on Tommy Fury. He wants to do what Jake Paul hasn't done. Yeah, okay. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when I look at it from the outside world as a traditional, let's say, guy, yeah, I'm hearing him. I know it's now that he's the guy who beat Jake. But it's a different storyline to beating the first time to beat a pro, because if you look at the both as pros, it's quite similar on paper. There's not much difference there. But of course, would love Tommy afterwards. There's a lot of names bandied around. I love the Tommy fight. I just think it's to be huge in the UK, absolutely huge.
Right.
So, yeah, it would bring out traditional fans probably a bit as well.
How much work are we doing towards that fight?
Yeah, I mean, look, I had a great meeting with John. I was up in Morecambe, wonderful place. If you have not been, go to Morecambe. Amazing beachfront place. Met the whole Fury family up there. I go back with Tyson years and years and years. Amazing world champion, for me, the best heavyweight on the planet, and a great guy as well. So I get on very well with the family. I think that helps. We got on so far. Yeah, we've put in a sizable offer, very, very heavy offer, but we all know that this is a live fight on Saturday. They're not stupid either. They're very, very knowledgeable on the boxing game. They've got very good people around them, advisors, lawyers.
But you've got an offer on the table. That's a serious inquiry.
But we've had a very good dialogue, so I'm hoping we get through Saturday. Saturday is all I'm thinking about right now. And yes, of course, as a promoter, I always think a couple of steps ahead.
Well, in this context, Saturday might be what you're focused on, but in just a little over a month's time, your attention's going to have to turn to Manchester and Eubank rematching Smith.
Yeah.
What are your feelings on this rematch?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it got pushed back. I still haven't seen a medical, so we're waiting to receive medical reports. It's been pushed back by them to the 1st of July. We're expecting the medicals to be okay, but we haven't seen the medicals. That's why we haven't also confirmed that date. But we expect those medicals to be incoming, and
that's not a big delay. It's a couple of weeks, really.
Fine on paper, but I'd still like to see the medical, report.
You question it? You think maybe this isn't?
No, I'm not questioning nothing, but I want to see a medical report. I've never had a fight postponed on me and not received the medical report before it's postponed. It's like me saying to you, you're going training camp, he's paying for a training camp in Vegas, you're just going to be 2 weeks later, don't worry about the flights we booked, don't worry about that, it's just going 2 weeks later, he's got some sort of a back injury. I'd just like to have the respect of receiving a medical report. Why have we not received that? So, but I'm not making a big thing of it at the moment. It will become a big thing, but we're told that's being delivered today, and then all guns blazing July the 1st. But as I said, I haven't seen a medical report. I can't comment on a medical report I haven't seen or received.
Eddie Hearns said if Chris Eubank Jr. loses to Smith again, he's done. His career should be over. He should go ahead and retire.
Oh, Ed said that, yeah?
Yeah.
But Ed likes to say things that get picked up on. He's made a life of that, hasn't he? You know, I mean, you know, that's good. That's good. I like that statement. You know, I can counter it in about 400 different ways. How'd you lose this, lose? But, you know, does he get robbed? Does he, does he lose in the first round in a shocker? Does he, how'd you lose? You know, does he go out and shit? 100 different things. But we're not talking about losing. We're talking about winning. So, you know, it's not repeat or revenge. It's revenge.
Do you feel like the first fight...
And then we're coming for your boy, Ed. We're coming for Connor Benn. So you make sure everything is ready. We're coming for Connor.
Well, I mean, that's a complicated challenge. But before we get to Connor...
Ed knows I'm joking.
Before we get to Connor, Eubank credits an elbow with what was the deciding factor in the first fight. Do you agree with that?
Well, to be fair to Junior, I brought up the elbow. It was a barrage of 10, 12 punches in the combination. And if an elbow lands, it happens in boxing. It wasn't like he went out and through the first punch was an elbow and then you hit him with a punch afterwards. No, you missed punches, which is normal. It was just a point made where people were saying, "Oh, well, they were all great punches." I said, "Well, a couple of elbows as well." Like anyone who don't believe it, we just go and look at the replay and see elbows landing. But again, is that a reason for disqualification or anything? Probably not, but it was. But that happens in boxing, Listen, that's why we had a rematch towards in there. These things happen, and Junior's got to put that wrong right in Manchester, live on Sky Sports box office. What's
Junior's mentality been like through this time? I mean, the Benn fight seemed like it might actually happen, and then, of course, we didn't get that, and now we're back with the rematch. How's his spirits, how's his mind focused on this coming event?
Well, he's so professional. He's difficult to read like that, but it's got to have an effect. It's got somewhere have an effect. I mean, he's gone through the camp to Benn, and that was, it wasn't like, oh, we almost got there. It was 3 days out. It should never have got that far, should it? Really? And we all know that, don't we? But that's another story. Well, that's a story to be continued, my friend.
But if
if I go back and I look at, his first fight on Sky Sports was October, was it 2 years ago now? That got called on the night of the fight. The opponent had a medical issue, was pulled by the board. That got postponed to Newcastle 3 weeks later. I look at Liam Williams. He had I can't remember what it was, a shoulder injury or something. That got pushed a month, remember, from December to January. Then I look at the first Liam Smith fight, was supposed to be in December. That was moved to January. This man's had a run. Yeah, I know he loves his poker. I wouldn't be playing poker at the moment. Apparently he's winning as well. So, his poker hand's working. But the luck he's had in boxing in recent times is shocking. He's had a run. His last 4 fights have all been either postponed or cancelled. It's he can't make it up.
Lastly, if he does defeat Smith in July now, are we immediately looking at a trilogy fight, or does he move to Benn after that fight?
I mean, ultimately it's down to Junior, but both are huge. Ben gets his if the stuff's sorted in a place where the Benn fight can take place legally, then man,
Are you willing to go outside the jurisdiction of the British board to have that fight?
I mean, fights travel all the time. But I'm not even looking at it right now. There's nothing on the table. So, but at the time, we'll look at it. best place to put that fight on will be the best place. But that will be a lot down to what Junior wants, and he might want a trilogy with Smith. You know, we might be talking about a completely different fight. I've got no idea. But at the moment, you know, I think everyone in the UK, whether they admit it or not, Eubank Ben loses 10 times to Smith. They will still want to see the end conclusion of a saga we've been living through for the last 7 months or whatever it is.
I caught up with Ben in Mexico while he was supporting John Ryder, and he's apologized for his behavior. He's made some verbal regrets about the way he handled the situation. Did you hear that? And what's your reaction to that?
No, I saw like clips. Didn't see the whole interview. Yeah, he seemed. I mean, I don't really know Connor well. I've met him at the media events more or less, and seen some at some boxing events over the years. Seems like a normal guy, likeable fella. I thought some of the PR around it was baffling. But then I was like, is he being told he has to say this because the lawyers are making their case? But then I'd rather just shut my mouth. It was like, the worst one was like out at Christmas when it was like, for me it read like a Christmas card, you know, a bad Christmas card. And I thought, that's not the Connor Benn that I've sort of like met before. And he's come out and, you know, he clearly has been told to say certain things. It's a young man. He's under a lot of pressure, and you know, let's see. I don't know what the end verdict's going to be. You know, he's been cleared by WBC VADA to fight. He wants to now also get cleared in the UK by UCAD. I can't work it all out because UCAD actually had nothing to do with the testing. So how are they going to clear a man who's been tested positive by another? I mean, that all don't make sense, but it is what it is. We're being shoveled shit by everyone, and you know, we'll listen to it, and you know, that's boxing, isn't it? You know, that's the sad thing. It's just, I find it sad that it's not more trials, but it's not quicker. What the hell? Why does it take so long? But I've said this before. I sound like a broken record.
You've got a great dance card coming up if we can fill it. I'm going to leave it to you to make these things happen. We're looking at KSI Fournier on Saturday, then Tommy Fury, KSI, then Connor, then we'll get Eubank and Smith rematch, then we'll get Eubank and Ben. I need all this to happen in 2023. I leave it with you, Kalle.
You want KSI Jake Paul as well in December, yeah?
Throw it in. Yeah, throw it in. All right.
Rahim, you take over. I'm off on holiday. I'll see you in about a year.
Cheers, Radio Rahim, the new promoter with Kalle Sauerland.